Level 1. The Village Guerrilla. You're 15. You farm rice during the day. Americans burned down the village near you a month ago, and now you're part of the revolution. Your job is to plant punji traps on the trail the ARVN patrol uses every morning. Sharpened bamboo, tips dipped in buffalo dung. Costs nothing to make, takes one soldier off the battlefield for 3 weeks. You collect 4 kilograms of rice per family per month. You watch which villagers talk to government soldiers. You carry messages between cells that have never met each other. You have no uniform, no rank, or even a gun. What you have is the knowledge of every trail, every paddy, every hiding place within 10 kilometers of your house. The Americans call you Viet Cong. They cannot find you because you are already home. Nobody tells you when this ends. A cadre member said once, "It ends when Vietnam is one country again." You carry that in your head. You will carry it for a long time. Level 2. The Local Force Fighter. You're 17, and you've become a full-time fighter, which means you're not going home anymore, and the window between a successful ambush and everyone dying is exactly 4 minutes. First shot to last man gone in 4 minutes, because anything longer and the American helicopters arrive and there is no version of that where you survive. You've drilled the withdrawal until it happens without thought. You've been in 6 ambushes. You've lost 4 men. You sleep in hammocks between trees, eat 300 grams of cold rice a day, half what your body needs, and carry an AK-47 that came down from the north last month still wrapped in factory grease. A serious wound out here doesn't kill you immediately. It just takes a few days. There's no medevac. There's no hospital. There is the jungle and whatever your comrades can carry. You stopped asking when you go home after the second time someone said, "When it's over." Level 3. The NVA Infantry Private. This is a different story. Same war, different country. You're 18, just drafted, and before you fire a single shot you will walk 600 miles through Laos and Cambodia at night with a 73-pound pack, while American aircraft bomb the trail around the clock and engineers repair it every morning. The trail always wins. Malaria kills as many men on the trail as bombs do. You watch a man shake for 3 days and then stop shaking, and you keep walking because stopping is not a thing that exists on the trail. Before you cross the DMZ, your political officer changed one word in the mission. Not liberation anymore. Defense. You're defending the North from American invasion. Liberation had started to feel impossible somewhere around kilometer 400. Defense is easier to die for. You arrive in Taining Province in 1967. You will not see the North again for 8 years. You don't know this yet. You're still expecting it to end soon. Everyone is. Level 4, the Squad Leader. You lead a 10-man squad, and every night before sleep you sit in a circle and confess your own doubts out loud before someone else does, because that is the correct thing to do, and also because you mean it. And after 6 months in the South, you can no longer tell which of those things is driving you. Last Tuesday, you walked into a kill zone, an M60 in the tree line, pre-sighted waiting, 3 men gone in 40 seconds. You pulled the other 7 out under fire. That night at the criticism session, you said, "I misread the terrain. I should have sent a scout further right. I accept responsibility." This is the correct thing to say. It is also true, both things are possible at the same time. Your ration is 200 grams of rice a day because the trail has been bombed, and the supply is delayed. Your men don't complain. Complaining is the kind of thing that gets noted. Level 5. The Political Officer. After 4 years of this, you can no longer tell whether you believe completely in the cause or whether you've simply become indistinguishable from someone who does. You've decided it doesn't matter. The work is the same either way. Every unit has 2 commanders. The military officer plans the operation. You approve it. You're not there to fight, you're there to make sure doubt never becomes a decision. Each month you flag approximately 1 in 8 men, who prays at night, old habit, tolerated but documented, who talks too much about home, who has gone quiet in the specific way that means something inside him is breaking. There is a phrase for a soldier who is present in body but absent in will. The men call it desertion to the hammock. You talk to him privately first, then formally, then the report goes up. You've done this for 4 years. The reports are always accurate. You're no longer sure that's the same thing as being right. Level 6. The Captain. The orders arrive 48 hours before. Simultaneous attacks on 36 provincial capitals and 5 major cities, all on the same night, during Tet, the Vietnamese New Year ceasefire, when 80,000 fighters who have been moving into position for months without a single radio transmission all go at once. Your objective is Bien Hoa Air Base. You command 170 men. You've rehearsed the approach 17 times on a sandbox model. January 31st, 2 a.m., you go. The first 90 minutes are everything you practiced. Then the American firepower arrives. Helicopter gunships, artillery, airstrikes calibrated to a level of violence that exists on a different scale than anything you can produce. You retreat. You leave 60% of your company on the ground. Hanoi calls Tet a great victory, and it was. A Vietnamese captain will never see a Walter Cronkite broadcast. But you'll be told that an American news anchor did more damage to the US war effort in one evening than 80,000 fighters did in a month. The Americans won every battle of Tet and lost the war to a television camera. You hold those two things, 100 fewer men and a war turned in separate places, and you keep moving. Level 7, the regiment commander. You command 2,000 men and the entire war runs on one calculation. Every American casualty is a political event in Washington. Every Vietnamese casualty is a statistic in Hanoi. They cannot sustain what you can sustain. This is not cruelty, it is arithmetic. You were at Dien Bien Phu in 1954, and you watched artillery dragged by hand up mountains the French declared inaccessible, destroy the French garrison in 56 days. You learned something then you've never unlearned. Patience defeats technology, and time defeats everything. Your regiment has lost 40% of its men since 1965. Boys from the north arrive every 3 months. 3 months on the trail, a rifle your command. You train them fast because you have to. One thing worries you. The Phoenix program, CIA teams systematically killing Viet Cong infrastructure, hamlet by hamlet. By 1970, the VC as an independent fighting force will be finished. You know this before Hanoi admits it. The war now belongs entirely to the NVA. You're not sure that's better, but it's what's left. Level 8, the general. You are General Vo Nguyen Giap. You are in Hanoi. You have never left. The calculation is simple. A democracy cannot sustain an unpopular war indefinitely. You don't have to win. You have to last. You have known this for 30 years and built everything around it. You sent 1.1 million soldiers south. The names of those who didn't come back exist in documents you sign and don't read twice, because a general who cannot function loses wars, and losing means another generation under occupation, and Vietnam has already given 1,000 years to that. Nixon calls his withdrawal Vietnamization. He is handing the war back because America's will is broken, exactly as you planned. The Paris Accords are signed in January 1973. American troops go home. You wait 2 years. March 1975. The final offensive, 100,000 troops move south, on a highway built where the trail used to be. The ARVN collapses in 55 days. On April 30th, 1975, 30 years after Ho Chi Minh declared independence, a North Vietnamese tank crashes through the gates of the presidential palace in Saigon. The war is over. You have won. You sit in your office in Hanoi, and for the first time in 30 years there is silence, and you don't know what to do with it. The village guerrilla, who planted punji traps at 15, is 29 now. He goes home. His village is still standing. Barely. His younger brother died on the trail in 1971. Nobody told the family until 1974. The local force fighter farms the same paddy he farmed before the war. The government gives him a certificate. It hangs on the wall. It doesn't grow rice. The NVA private who walked the trail in 1967 sees his mother for the first time in 8 years. She doesn't recognize him at the door. She thinks he is a stranger. He stands there until she does. The political officer retires into government work. He writes reports for another 20 years. The reports are always correct. The captain who held Bien Hoa for 4 hours gets a commendation and a small apartment in Ho Chi Minh City, the new name for Saigon. He lives there alone. The general's face goes on a postage stamp. 1.1 million Vietnamese soldiers died. Between 2 and 3 million civilians. The country is unified. It is free. It is completely destroyed. It takes 20 years to rebuild enough to be poor instead of ruined. It ends when Vietnam is one country again. That was always the whole point.